everybody, it is I, Andre, from the 4-Hour Info YouTube and Rumble channels. And today we're going to be talking about the Cracker Barrel rebranding and rebranding in general and the ramifications it has for our country. But before I get into that, I just want to go ahead and apologize for not having uploaded for a couple weeks. The reason why I haven't done that is simply because as the days get shorter and shorter, I start to become, more and more sad. So because of that, I tend to lose motivation to upload and to make videos. So this starts to happen around mid-August of each year. This is when I start to feel that way. So if the uploads are less consistent, I do apologize for that. I will do my best to find the motivation to make as many videos as I can. Now let's get to the video. So the issue is the simplification of Americana, or at least the newer revision of Americana, where you see businesses like Cracker Barrel, and before that, businesses like Taco Bell, McDonald's, Pizza Hut, etc., go from just very colorful, vibrant buildings, full of life, creativity in the logos are present, just extraordinarily beautiful buildings that make you want to go there and eat the food. Yet we went from that to just essentially having basically gray boxes with just very simplified logos that doesn't incentivize creativity and things of that sort. And it's just really unfortunate that you witness these things and you just think to yourself, well, wait a minute, how is this even reasonable to have, these buildings be just so dull, soulless, artless, just pieces of trash, basically. I mean, who wants to visit those places? You go there, you eat the food and you leave. It's just, again, who wants to live in that society? Cracker Barrel is the quintessential example of Americana. It has its own southern style, where obviously when you first enter, you've got the gift shop right around where you can get candy or Halloween costumes or toys or old music, just old clothing. I mean, there's just so much to take in. You've got huge traffic light over the restrooms. You've got the beautiful wooden textures with the dark gray walls and brown walls. Like, it's just a very interesting feel. Outside, you've got the rocking chairs with the tables where you play checkers. You've got all these just interesting things. And then you go to the dining area where you have just southern architecture. You've got shotguns on the walls. You've got, paintings of people. You got the huge fireplace. You got another place where you could play checkers. I mean, it's just, there's so much there. It's just a very interesting place. And this is not about defending what happened in the South in relation to Jim Crow laws and slavery. Is unfortunate. And we mourn for our African American brothers and sisters, some of whom, had ancestors who were slaves. I understand the hurt that they have. I can sympathize with their hurt. But I can't say that again, you can't just get rid of history. History is history. You know, it's kind of like when they tried to take down the statues, when radical people on the left tried to take the statues of Robert E. Lee and Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin, George Washington, take all those statues down because they owned slaves. Okay, they owned slaves, yes, but they also created the very document which became the basis of liberating African Americans from slavery. If it weren't for the Declaration of Independence that was signed onto by the Founding Fathers, then slavery would have never ended. So you have them to thank. And ultimately, yes, Abraham Lincoln was the one who signed the Emancipation Proclamation, but even before then, the Declaration of Independence establishing that all men are created equal, and obviously men also meant women too, which later became, and everyone became equal, as we should be. We're Americans. And this is where some people just see the architecture of Cracker Barrel and they just don't want to recall that side of history. They want to remember only the good parts of history. It reminds me a lot of when Joseph Stalin removed Leon Trotsky from the Soviet textbooks. People had no idea who Leon Trotsky was. They never knew that he was a respected general in the Red Army who committed atrocities, of course, but they never knew of him. They never knew that he was in the Red Army and that he had a very high rank in there. They didn't know who he was. It's revising history and saying it never happened. Let's forget that it happened. Let's pretend like these issues in the past never occurred, and that it's time to get rid of them. But then conveniently we'll remember when they happened, and then we'll blame Southerners or blame white people for it. Yes, there were bad things that happened in the South. Yes, the Civil War was awful, and it's a good thing that the South lost. Absolutely. But there's also a culture about the South, because I'm from the South, and for the record, I've been to Cracker Barrel many times. It's always been a beautiful place. I mean, just going to the gift shop after a long road trip, I mean, that's what Cracker Barrel is practically known for. Going places, you want to stop by, and now they've removed the creativity from it. It's going to be revised yet even more when more and more businesses lose their origin. I mean, case in point, in the logo with Cracker Barrel, they have the white gentleman near the barrel. They got rid of that. It's like, well, that's absurd, because these are the things that made Cracker Barrel, and now these businesses just don't have any, are no more creative than the other. So it's demoralizing, and it makes people despondent. Who wants to look at a gray building that just doesn't have a lot of creative force, and that doesn't have its own decor, architecture, what have you? It's just one business is a clone after the other. Yes, they may sell different food, but that's it. Otherwise, it's all the same building. Who wants to go to these places at that point? It's just so unfortunate. It's like everything's like a video game from mid 2000s, like, or even earlier than that. Like but with the video games, it's like they couldn't do a whole lot because technical capabilities were not robust enough to create a lifelike product. Conversely, you have people in the business world who have skills, who could have the creative know-how if they look for the right people, but instead they hire people who don't understand creativity and don't understand what makes each and every business intricate. And we have the new CEO of Cracker Barrel who just doesn't understand Cracker Barrel. You remove all the architecture and you remove the logo and you replace it with a very simplistic orange backdrop with just the words Cracker Barrel on it, and you remove the footnote of Old Country Store, and you remove the gentleman with his barrel sitting in the rocking chair. Once that's gone, you don't have Cracker Barrel anymore. You just have another soulless business. And yes, Cracker Barrel is a big business, but it was a creative big business that had an edge to it. It was pretty to look at because it was different. It was reminiscent of a bygone era. And that's what makes it so interesting. And a bygone era that's now open to people. Where black people may have been restricted at one point, they get to see the architecture there and have relief that they're not bound by it. That they get to witness history where they are a part of it. That's what's so great about Cracker Barrel. And now it's gone because, again, the corporate CEOs, they don't want people to be treated to anything artistic or intricate or anything like that. It's a disaster. And this is why when, the Democratic Party officially denounced what happened at Cracker Barrel. But again, it's this like push towards everything's racist or anything that references what happened or references someone with slaves or something southern looking is inherently evil, and because black people did suffer, but they no longer suffer. But that they're not allowed to have their culture. People from the South are not allowed to have that culture because it's evil because of what happened to black people. Yet other people can have their cultures. Democrats will support black and Hispanic culture, yet illegal immigrants from Mexico, the people whom they hurt first and foremost are disenfranchised black people who don't have a lot of opportunities because the illegal immigrants will take the job. So whose side do you take? So, for example, so it's self-contradictory. And this is what happens when you say everything's racist. You remove the character out of the country. And pretty soon every business is just going to be a gray box with with a simplistic logo, and you go there and that's it. Every business. It's just so demoralizing to look at that. I don't want to look at that. Creativity and referencing history is something that should be done because you don't want people to be uneducated. And that's a problem, and that's why I'm against the Cracker Barrel change. I wish we could go back to vibrant buildings with beauty and architecture, but we can't, unfortunately. And that's the sad part. These companies are just openly degrading just everything. It's just It's just really unfortunate. And we should try to push back and say, no, we don't want our logos changed. We want these businesses to look vibrant and to have their own artistic style to them. That's what we want. So let's try to reverse the Cracker Barrel change. Let's push for the original architecture again, and let's prevent other businesses from doing the same thing that Cracker Barrel did. Thank you, everybody. God bless all of you. God bless America. And I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.